Final spiritual alert. This message slipped through the veil, but it's only meant for those carrying silent grief. The veil thinned at dawn on the solstice, and for but a moment, eternity breathed into time. A sacred pause, where realms intermingled, and heaven stooped low to whisper into mortal sorrow. It wasn't loud. It didn't thunder. It came wrapped in stillness. In the hush before the sun climbed into its dominion, the veil parted, briefly, like a curtain stirred by divine breath. And through it, a message passed. One not meant for all. One not meant for crowds or clergy or the proud. This word is not for the ones who make noise with their grief. This word is for the ones who weep in secret, who bleed behind smiles, who scream silently inside their soul. Archangel Michael, heaven's warrior and guardian of the remnant, moved in that sacred hush. He stepped into the ache that others ignore, into the hollowness masked by routine, into the chambers where grief has grown roots beneath your ribs. He did not come with a sword this time. He came bearing a message carved in light, sealed with divine authority, and marked for those whose cries rise at midnight yet whose mouths remain closed in the daytime. It slipped through the veil because you needed to hear it, not with ears but with spirit. Not everyone will receive this. Not everyone is spiritually sensitive enough to sense its divine fragrance. Some will scroll past it. Some will mock it. But you paused it. You felt it. You heard the whisper inside your bones before these words even reached your eyes. You've been pulled lately, haven't you? A strange, holy stirring that makes no earthly sense. An invisible weight, a holy ache, a knowing that something is moving, but you can't explain it. This is the confirmation you didn't know you were waiting for. The sacred proof that your silent grief has been observed in the throne room of God. The message was not delayed. It was timed. It was guarded. It was only meant to reach the chosen and the broken. And now, it has found you. So still yourself. Don't rush this moment. Don't skim this sentence. Be present. Be open. Be aware. What follows is not mere encouragement. It is divine strategy. The Spirit is about to speak through this message, and if you will linger in the stillness, clarity will follow the ache. Type "I receive this" in the comments if your spirit feels this truth. Lesson code 444 has entered your atmosphere. He steps forth, not with thunder, not with fury, but with solemn clarity, cloaked in the silence of eternity. Archangel Michael moves through the dimensions with deliberate intent, sent not to multitudes but to you. He has stood guard over prophets and nations, defended heaven's glory against principalities and darkness, but now he stands in the doorway of your ache. You, the quiet one. You, the watcher in the night. You, whose heart has been fractured by loss and kept beating only by a force you cannot explain. He speaks now, not through visions or fire, but through this message that slipped through the veil, divinely designed to reach you in this exact hour. Before the clock strikes midnight again, listen. This moment is not random. This encounter is not common. There are no coincidences in the kingdom of heaven. There are only alignments, sacred collisions between divine purpose and human timing. This is one of them. You were marked in the Spirit. Before this day, before this ache, before this current silence, your name was whispered in the upper realms. Your tears sent ripples across dimensions, and heaven responded, not with delay but with discretion. This message was hidden, not lost. It was guarded, not forgotten. And now, the veil has opened just wide enough to let this one word through. This is for the grief carrier. This is for the soul who mourns beneath laughter. who aches beneath responsibilities, who prays silently for healing that others stop asking about. Your grief has a vibrancy. It hums through your life like a sacred vibration, inaudible to those who live only on the surface. But heaven hears it clearly. Archangel Michael declares, "You are not forsaken. You are being spiritually prepared. You who cry without sound, who walk with strength and smile with fractured faith, you were chosen to carry this weight. Not because God delights in your sorrow, but because He trusted you with it. Trusted that your silent mourning could carry generational meaning. Trusted that your private ache could build public authority. Only the silently weeping carry this kind of flame. You are not weak. You are not pitiful. You are not cursed. You are sacred. You are set apart. You are becoming through this very process. Understand this. The pain that pierced you was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to pierce the veil. That agony, that loss, that moment where everything shifted, that was your opening. That was the split in your timeline where destiny began to breathe. Grief created a rupture, and from that rupture, heaven sent a message. It didn't come through dreams or prophets this time. It came through this digital stream because even the internet must obey divine timing. Archangel Michael watches you now, not with pity, but with fierce compassion. He knows your kind. He knows the ones who endure silently. He knows the ones who speak in intercessions and move in rooms without needing credit. He sees you. He covers you. He walks with his sword drawn, even when you feel alone in the battle. Hear this now. You were chosen to carry pain for divine purpose. Others avoid suffering, but you were built to walk through it and still emerge with light in your eyes. Others pretend, but you process. Others complain, but you convert pain into power. This makes you different. This makes you holy. This makes you dangerous to darkness. You've been wondering lately, haven't you? Why your emotions are so raw again. Why your dreams are heavier. Why you're suddenly withdrawn when once you were social. It's because your spirit is tuning in. It's sensing the call. It's aligning with a realm that most cannot perceive. The veil didn't just lift for a message. It lifted to awaken you. This is your moment to tune in fully. Not with fear, but with reverence. Don't let your mind wander now. Don't let doubt steal this revelation. The Spirit has orchestrated this precise encounter because what comes next will not only restore you, it will awaken dormant authority within you. To breathe deeply. Soften your heart. Let your guard fall, not verbal of ever guide. This is holy ground. For those who carry silent grief, this is your call to come closer. Closer to the presence that's been watching you through the shadows. Closer to the truth that your sorrow has meaning. Closer to the revelation that you're not being broken, you're being reborn. Before this day ends, you will feel a shift. The veil opened to bring healing, but it also opened to activate. What you lost will not return in its old form. It will return resurrected. But only if you dare to receive. Receive this word. Receive this calling. Receive this moment. Type "I am anointed" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1122 is now activated. There is a silence in your life that isn't just yours. There is a mystery that has followed you, not created by your hands, but woven by the whispers of realms unseen. You felt it. You sensed it. At first, you called it overthinking, then anxiety, then maybe grief. But it is something deeper, something far older, something sacred. You felt watched, but not by humans alone. There are eyes in the spirit realm fixed upon you. Not all hostile, not all friendly. Some curious, some jealous, some commissioned to observe your becoming. Conversations are being had in places you cannot see, about wounds you carry and potential you haven't even touched. You've walked into rooms and felt tension that wasn't yours. You sat among friends and sensed emotional undercurrents no one dared acknowledge. You've seen the glances. You've heard the pauses between their words. You've noticed how quickly some change subjects when you speak. Why? Because your grief made you spiritually sensitive. Your pain tuned your soul to a frequency others can't handle. You're not paranoid. You're prophetic. The truth. People have discussed you in corners they didn't invite you into. Your name has been weighed in mouths that smiled to your face but carried envy in their silence. There are those who sense what you carry, even when you try to downplay it. They see a weight on your life, a mystery around your movement, a divine spark in your suffering, and it unsettles them, because they can't name it, and what they can't define, they often try to diminish. There is someone close, too close, who pretends they don't know your ache. What they do, they felt the atmosphere change when you walked in. They've noticed how heaven defends you, even in their private bitterness. But you keep quiet. You keep peaceful. You keep dignified. That's why the heavens trust you with secrets. But now the Spirit speaks plainly. There is a veil of grief no one dares to pull back, but you feel what others deny, and that unnerves them. You are the one who senses it all, the shift in tone, the weight in words, the spiritual undercurrents. You're not imagining things. You're discerning them. And your discernment has become a disruption. You disrupt rooms with your very presence. Not because you speak much, but because your spirit carries unspeakable weight. It's a balance around you. It's not emotional instability. It's spiritual noise. The kind of noise that arises when light enters hidden places. You are the light. And the shadows have taken notice. Even now, some of your dreams have changed. You've seen faces you haven't spoken to in months. You've been waking up with a strange pressure in your chest. Not fear, but urgency. This is not natural. This is supernatural. It's the atmosphere reacting to your ascension. You are stepping into a realm where what once ignored you is now watching you, and what once tolerated you is now intimidated by you. Do not shrink. Do not apologize for the weight you carry. They may not understand the cost of your becoming, but heaven has recorded every tear. You feel different because you are different. You've crossed thresholds others never dared to approach. Your sorrow has matured you in the spirit. They act confused by your peace, but it's because you no longer respond to what once provoked you. That silence is not weakness, it's dominion. You've seen too much to be rattled by shallow chaos. Yes, you walk through mystery. Yes, some connections have become strange. But do not fear it. This is the Spirit dividing soul ties from divine alignments. This is heaven exposing what your heart could not confront. Let the mystery remain. Let people feel unsettled. You were not born to keep others comfortable. You were born to carry revelation. Your grief made you spiritually magnetic. That's why people are drawn to you and repelled by you, all at once. They love your wisdom but can't handle your warfare. They crave your insight but fear your anointing. And that's okay, because heaven didn't choose you to be accepted. Heaven chose you to be anointed. You weren't set apart for approval. You were set apart for assignment. If this message resonates with you and you feel moved to support, consider giving a super thanks with contributions of up to $20. Your kindness helps us bring more powerful content your way. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating through the support here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. Don't forget to subscribe for more prophetic revelations and spirit-led insight. Heaven speaks, and we release what is heard. Type "I am chosen" in the comments if this chapter was written for you. Blessing code 666 is now surrounding you. Now let's make one thing abundantly clear. You have not been abandoned. You have been refined. Every conflict you faced, every betrayal you didn't see coming, every loss that stunned your breath, it wasn't a punishment. It was placement. You were being placed in a spiritual furnace, not to be burned, but to be baptized in fire. Your grief was never random. It was the soil of your spiritual authority. Others prayed for mantles, you were handed a cross. Others asked for elevation, you were given pain. Why? Because the deeper the sorrow, the higher the calling. The more intense the mourning, the more massive the mantle. You were not ignored. You were being fortified. Do you feel it yet? The pressure you endured wasn't an accident. It was an intentional forging. Heaven was molding you into a vessel not easily shaken. The sorrow that once silenced you is now giving rise to a strength they won't understand. This is what the enemy fears the most, not just your survival, but your spiritual maturity. Understand, darkness hates the light you carry in silence. The enemy could not destroy you, so he tried to delay you. He stirred confusion, broke connections, sent betrayals wrapped in friendship. He tried to use people to derail your discernment. But here you stand, bruised, maybe, but awake. Aware, alive in the spirit. This pain did not come to destroy you. It came to distill you, to separate the noise from the voice of God, to strip away false identity, to remind you who you are when there's nothing left but divine breath in your lungs. Every tear you cried was weighed in the courts of heaven. Not one was wasted. Not one rolled down your face unnoticed. Every one was turned into a decree. Every one watered the roots of your future ministry. The grief became a covenant. The sorrow became substance. So stop asking, "Why me?" and start declaring, "Refine me." You are not a Kahuli. You are a catalyst. You are not the wounded. You are the warrior. And yes, the conflict is intense. But listen closely. The conflict is not personal. It is spiritual. They didn't hate you. They hated what was growing inside you. They weren't threatened by your smile. They were threatened by your spirit. The warfare you faced wasn't because of your weakness, but because of your divine potential. You carry weight in the unseen realm. Even now, hell regrets letting you survive what should have broken you. This is the hour to reframe your trials. The very attacks sent to bury you became the seeds of your spiritual inheritance. The rejection birthed revelation. The silence became sacred space. The loneliness became language only heaven could interpret. And now, you are no longer just surviving. You are standing in authority. Archangel Michael declares, you are not being punished. You are being positioned. Don't doubt this moment. Don't misread the warfare. Don't mislabel your grief. You are being entrusted, not tested. And heaven always tests what it intends to trust with greater authority. You've been through fire, but the fire did consume you. It confirmed you. Type "I am refined" in the comments if this revelation hits home. Blessing code 777 is unlocking access to peace and clarity. You must hear this clearly now. Not everything is as it appears. There are movements being made in unseen places, steps taken in secret rooms, decisions whispered in silence, but they concern you. You have been sensing it, haven't you? The uneasy tightening in your spirit. The lingering thought that someone is shifting something behind your back. That's not suspicion. It's spiritual intelligence. Heaven is alerting your soul before your eyes ever catch the evidence. Someone has made moves against you, not openly, but in a manner they thought would bypass discernment. They underestimated the frequency of your grief. They didn't realize that pain has sharpened your hearing. There are plans being stirred, tongues wagging, envy rising. Chatter has increased in places you once called safe. Someone, somewhere, is testing the boundaries of your silence. But hear this. They are not testing your weakness, they are unknowingly testing heaven's patience. The Spirit of the Lord reveals that within 72 hours, there will be a spiritual climate shift. You'll feel it before it breaks through the surface. You'll sense the change in atmosphere, the sudden heaviness, the spiritual resistance rising in rooms where once there was ease. That will be your signal. That will be your divine cue. Don't dismiss it. Don't rationalize it away. Your unease is not just emotional. It is prophetic. This shift will not break you. He is not allowed to destroy what God has already sealed. But it will reveal much. People who once wore masks will be exposed, and tensions hidden under friendship will come to light. The spiritual veil will be pulled back just enough for you to see what has been stirring beneath the surface. It may shake you, but it will not shatter you. It may surprise you, but it will not stop you. The hand of God is already moving ahead of you, pulling back what was done in darkness and setting the stage for divine clarity. You must not respond hastily. That is the trap, to react in the flesh to what was stirred in the spirit. Heaven says this is a test, a divine test of silence and spiritual posture. Don't fail it by lashing out or trying to defend your name. Your silence has been your sword. Your dignity hath been your shield. Stay hidden in the cleft of the rock and let the Lord expose what needs to be revealed. There are times when heaven delays the tide, not because you're weak, but because you're still being prepared. This is one of those times. The enemy wants to provoke you into warfare that God never assigned to you. But you are wiser now. You are more discerning now. You understand the weight of timing. Pay attention to dreams. Pay attention to sudden losses of peace. Pay attention to repeated numbers, divine interruptions, moments where the Holy Spirit pulls you back from speaking. These are signals. Heaven is orchestrating a reversal, but it begins in stillness, not movement. Don't try to rush God. Don't step ahead of the divine calendar. They are testing your silence. They are pushing to see if the pain you carry will make you impulsive. But what they don't know is that your grief has become your guard. You've learned to wait. You've learned to watch. You've learned that the delay is often the weapon. So now, you must lean into stillness. Withdraw from unnecessary circles. Guard your atmosphere. The next 72 hours are holy. The next 72 hours are pregnant with revelation. This will not be just another spiritual moment. This will be a spiritual marker. A turning point. A divine alert sounded in secret. Let them pine. Let them whisper. Let them move. Heaven laughs at the schemes of the proud. The justice of God is not delayed. It is deliberate. And when the wave breaks, they will know they were never fighting you. They were interfering with the will of the Almighty. Type I stand in stillness in the comments to activate divine awareness. Blessing code 1414 has been assigned to your spirit. Now that the shift has begun, you must choose your posture. And heaven speaks plainly here. Be still. Do not enter into debates. Do not seek validation from the very voices assigned to misunderstand you. Be still now. This battle no longer belongs to you. It belongs to the heavens. Archangel Michael releases this charge over your life. Withdraw. Disengage. Cease explaining. The temptation to clarify yourself will be strong. The desire to correct rumors, to explain your absence, to justify your growth, it will rise. But you must resist, because what you speak now may distort what heaven is still aligning. This is not a season of words. This is a season of watchfulness. Your silence is not defeat. It is divine defense. Heaven speaks loudest when you stop explaining. The less you say, the more God rises to speak on your behalf. The more you retreat, the more angels are released to act. You must trust now, not just in God's presence, but in His timing. And more than ever, in His justice. Withdraw into prayer. Move quietly. Stop announcing your plans. This season is sacred. You are being led through spiritual corridors, and not everyone can walk with you there. You've outgrown certain rooms. You've graduated beyond surface conversations. You've evolved into a realm of spiritual maturity that requires divine privacy. There is power in hiding. There is protection in mystery. There is deliverance in silence. Let the Spirit teach you again how to war through worship, how to shield your heart through consecration, how to anchor your soul in Scripture. Do not mistake movement for momentum. Your greatest transformation will happen in stillness. Pray in secret. Whisper heaven's truth when your soul begins to shake. Worship until the atmosphere bows. There is no need to panic when God has already surrounded you with unseen fire. Even now, divine protection is covering your exposed heart. Even now, angels have encamped around your name. The grief that once left you vulnerable has now become your gateway into divine guardedness. Let grief become wisdom, not noise. You are not meant to fight in every battle you sense. Some wars are won in silence. Some victories are born from withdrawal. Some mountains only move when you stop speaking and start resting. The world does not understand this kind of warfare. They see silence as weakness. They see stillness as surrender. But the kingdom sees it differently. In the courts of heaven, silence is the language of trust. Stillness is the posture of those who know they are defended by the Most High. You must know this now. God is not inactive. He is intentional. Every unseen move, every quiet whisper in your spirit, every delay, it's all part of the orchestration. Nothing is random. Nothing is wasted. You are being preserved for something greater than the explanation they demand from you. They may never understand your silence. Let them talk. Let them wonder. Let them speculate. You are not called to clarify your consecration. You are called to complete your calling. To pause. Breathe. Pray. Let the heavens work. Let the angels handle what your words cannot. The less you say, the clearer God becomes in your story. The less you argue, the louder heaven echoes through your name. This is not the end of your chapter. It is the covering before your public emergence. Stay hidden. Stay holy. Stay alert. Type "I am covered" in the comments if you receive this word. Blessing code 1717 is now guarding your gates. The grief that once drowned you no longer defines you. What once felt like a grave has now become a gateway. Something in you has shifted. You can feel it. You are no longer the same. And though others might still approach you as if you are fragile, as if you are still in pieces, they don't realize You've already begun rising. You've risen not in volume, but in vibration. You've risen not in appearance, but in authority. The cocoon has cracked, the silence has sanctified you, and the pain has reshaped the very fabric of who you are. You are not who you were when grief began. That version of you died in the wilderness of loss. That version of you bled out in the midnight prayers and unanswered questions. But something else rose in its place, something forged in fire, anointed through agony, and sealed in the courts of heaven. You've died many emotional deaths, haven't you? Versions of yourself buried with every betrayal. Hopes laid to rest after every delay. But here you are, still standing, still pressing, still believing. What others saw as endings, heaven marked as initiations. The silent pain you carried was never wasted. Every cry without words, every moment you sat in numb surrender, every tear that fell without explanation, it was all being transmuted into sacred power. You didn't know it at the time, but you were being reborn. The fire didn't destroy you, it refined you. And now, you have become a spiritual storm they can't decode. You no longer operate on the same level as before. Your sensitivity is higher. Your discernment is sharper. Your presence carries weight, because your suffering carries testimony. What broke others has built you into a vessel of rare capacity. While others scattered under pressure, you stayed. While others numbed the pain, you confronted it. While others lost faith, you held on by a thread, and that thread became your covenant. You're no longer looking for rescue. You have become the refuge. You no longer speak from theory. You speak from the oil pressed out of crushing. And now, heaven begins to reveal it. You're gaining wings they can't see. Invisible strength. Authority. Celestial backing. This is why the enemy fought you so viciously. He saw the wings forming in the realm of spirit long before they were visible to man. He knew what was coming. He knew you were no ordinary soul navigating ordinary grief. He knew you were a carrier, the vessel of supernatural strength. Rise gently, but rise fully. There is no need to prove yourself. Your presence already speaks louder than their assumptions. There is no need to explain your glow. Heaven put it there. They won't understand your silence, but they'll feel your spirit. They won't know your process, but they'll witness your presence. You are stepping into a season where your very existence becomes anointed evidence. You've become the person you once prayed for. You've become the strength you once sought in others. You've become the balm for the very wounds that nearly took you out. And now, it is time to walk in that truth, not timidly, but with divine assurance. You are not mourning anymore. You are metamorphosing. What was grief has now become glory. What was loss has now become launch. What was agony has now become access. This is not just a recovery. This is a resurrection. If you've felt the stirring to move, to create, to begin again, it's not a coincidence. It's a holy permission slip. Heaven is inviting you to no longer carry grief as a burden, but as a badge of sacred survival. You didn't just make it. You were made in it. And the world is not ready for the fullness of who you are becoming, but heaven is. Type "I rise in power" in the comments to affirm your shift. Blessing code 818 is now governing your forward movement. Hear this clearly. None of this was random. None of your sorrow, none of your delays, none of your silent cries to heaven went unnoticed. There is a holy reason the veil opened to send you this message. There is a divine reason why your spirit was awakened by these words. Because you were next in line. Grief was not the end, it was the gate. Heaven allowed the sorrow not to punish you, but to promote you. God hath been shaping you through what felt like suffering. He allowed you to feel what others refused to process. He allowed you to lose what others idolize. He allowed you to break so He could rebuild you as something eternal. You were always marked for a higher path. That's why nothing ever felt normal. That's why no earthly thing ever satisfied your soul. Because you were built for something holy. Silent grief is often misunderstood on earth but perfectly interpreted in heaven. What you thought disqualified you has actually been qualifying you. What you thought delayed you has actually developed you. God has been unlocking parts of you through loss, because the keys to your next level were hidden inside your sorrow. Only the ones who dare to walk through grief with dignity receive this kind of scroll. Yes, a divine scroll with your name is being opened. It's been sealed for such a time as this. It holds instruction, inheritance, insight, activation. You will soon find yourself knowing things you were never taught. You'll be led to places you didn't plan. Doors will open that you didn't knock on. Why? Because grief has moved you into alignment with your scroll. What was once locked in the spiritual archives of heaven is now being downloaded into your destiny. Heaven is not ignoring you. Heaven has been watching you. God Himself leaned in when others walked out. And now the divine instruction has been issued. It is time for your awareness to catch up with your anointing. The veil has torn for you. The tear in the spirit wasn't general. It was personal. It was precise. It was prepared. You weren't left out. You weren't overlooked. You were hidden until the moment your sorrow aligned with your sacred scroll. And now the revelation begins. You'll begin to recognize what was once confusing. You'll begin to speak what you once hesitated to whisper. You'll begin to carry what others ran from. Because you are no longer surviving pain. You are stewarding purpose. What happened had to happen. The abandonment, the loss, the rejection. It was all a divine funnel, forcing you into sacred corridors. God trusted you enough to strip you. He trusted you enough to reduce you, to humble you, to lead you through the narrow gate, so that when this moment came, your heart would be ready. Ready for revelation. Ready for responsibility. Ready to reign. You were born to rule in realms you didn't even know existed. Your silence in suffering wasn't passivity. It was preparation. Your tears weren't wasted. They were building heavenly equity. Your grief didn't strip you. It spiritually scripted you. And now heaven turns the page. You will soon be contacted by people who need what only your sorrow could produce. Your voice will carry a frequency that opens doors, breaks chains, and heals wounds. Don't underestimate yourself. Don't shrink now. Don't fall back into mourning when the mantle is finally resting upon you. Rise and receive. The scroll is open. The instruction is being released. Heaven has chosen this hour to reveal what was always inside you. If this message speaks to you, consider sowing into this moment through Super Chat, Super Thanks, or Super Stickers. Your support, even as little as $10, helps us continue releasing these powerful words. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating through the Support Here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. Subscribe to receive more timely prophetic insight and spirit-led encouragement directly into your life. You're not just listening, you're aligning. Type I receive the scroll in the comments. Blessing code 3030 is now sealing the revelation around you. You've been prepared. You've been refined. You've been awakened. And now comes the call. Activate. Heaven is no longer asking you to wait. It's calling you to walk. This is not the time for passivity, nor for mourning over what didn't survive the fire. This is the moment to speak life into the ashes. This is the hour where heaven commands movement. Strategic, anointed, spirit-led movement. Your destiny is not waiting for your perfection. It is waiting for your yes. Speak now, and speak boldly. Speak declarations over your days. Command your mornings. Align your language with your future. Say it aloud, even if your voice shakes. I rise still. Speak it until the darkness around your timeline begins to fold. Speak it until the grief rewrites itself into glory. Speak it until the heavens echo your words and release what have been held in divine storehouses. Your voice is not powerless. It is prophetic. It has weight. It has reach. It moves things. Destiny does not wait for pity. It does not pause for your feelings to catch up. It responds to agreement. It responds to obedience. You cannot delay any longer. Every time you postponed your purpose, pain found a way to resurface. Every time you hesitated, the ache grew louder. Because grief was never meant to be a permanent place. It was meant to be a passage. And now, the passage is closing. The window is open, but not forever. You've mourned long enough. You've stayed quiet long enough. You've waited for confirmation, but the confirmation is already embedded in the ache that hasn't left you. God doesn't need to send another sign. He's waiting for your movement. Begin where you stop. Rebuild what you abandoned. Reclaim what you surrendered in moments of fear. Heaven will not hand you everything. You must move toward it. You are not a mourner anymore, you are a mender. You carry healing now, not just for yourself, but for others. The very thing that crushed you will now become the foundation others stand on. You are not a survivor. You are a sent one. Sent into a world still groaning for voices like yours. Sent into spaces that need your kind of wisdom, wisdom only pain could produce. Sent to confront the chaos with calm, to bring peace where trauma once ruled. You will feel tempted to shrink back. You will question your qualifications. But hear this clearly. Your scars are your credentials. Your tears were your training. Your past pain is not a liability. It's leverage. You've earned the oil. You've paid the price. Now step into the position. Move as one sent, not one seeking. You're not searching for validation anymore. You're not begging to be seen. You're moving as a vessel already known in the spirit. When you enter rooms now, it won't be for approval. It will be for alignment. The ones who are meant to walk with you will recognize your weight. The ones who are meant to cover you will confirm your assignment. But you must go first. Heaven is moved by obedience, not noise. It responds to action, not perfection. The minute your foot touches the water, the current will part. The moment your hands stretch forward, the oil will flow. Don't wait for motivation. Move by revelation. Don't wait to feel ready. You've already been readied in the secret place. What felt like delay was divine detail. The black stillness was sacred instruction. Now walk. The anointing is no longer hovering. It is resting. The authority is no longer developing. It is declaring. Your destiny has arrived. Your assignment is active. All of heaven stands ready, waiting for your next move. Don't hesitate. Don't second guess. This is it. This is now. Papa say yes in the comments if you're stepping into destiny today. Blessing code 999 is commanding new beginnings into your path. While you cried in the dark, while you sat in silence when no one checked in, while your body ached from the weight of what you couldn't say, heaven was at work. The world saw silence, but the spirit realm saw sacred exchanges. But looked like stillness to others was in fact divine transaction. And now the spirit reveals what happened when you thought nothing was happening. As you cried, angels were dispatched. Not just to comfort, but to record. Every sigh, every suppressed scream, every exhausted exhale was noted in the scrolls of heaven. This wasn't emotional drama. This was intercessory depth. Your pain was prayer. Your tears were prophetic ink. Heaven translated every ache into instruction, into action, into acceleration. While you slept, while you grieved alone, divine trades were enacted. Heaven was busy trading your sorrow for strength, your heaviness for garments of praise, your ashes for crowns of beauty. What you thought you lost has already begun returning to you, but not in its old form. It's coming back transformed. It's coming back resurrected. It's coming back sevenfold. What grief stole, heaven has already replaced, and then multiplied. Your name was whispered in places you'll never see. Your identity was confirmed in realms you never entered. Angels stood watch as decisions were made about your next season. Strategies were approved. Blueprints were stamped. Doors were assigned. And all of it, was done while you remained faithful in the silence. The trade was silent, but the effect will be loud. The season that once crushed you will now be your banner. The rooms that rejected you will soon need what you carry. The people who dismissed you will be drawn to the frequency of your transformation. But none of this will come through striving. It will come through alignment. Your name was spoken by ancestors in light. The ones who warred for the bloodline before you ever knew there was a war. The ones who prayed you into existence. The ones who asked heaven to raise a remnant from their lineage. And you, yes, you, became the fulfillment of their cry. You weren't just born, you were summoned. Called into this timeline for a holy purpose. Marked not by accident but by ancient petition. So don't let your grief fool you into thinking you're behind. You are right on time. The ache you feel is not delay. It's deep alignment. You're sensing something in your spirit that's already unfolded in the heavens. That's why the tension feels unbearable some days. That's why you can't go back to who you were. You've touched the veil now. You've tasted eternity. You've encountered something real, something irreversible. You're not imagining the shift, you're sensing it. The chills down your spine. The sudden weeping. The midnight awakenings. The heightened discernment. These are all signals that you've been recalibrated. The old atmosphere doesn't fit. The old routines don't fulfill. Because you've been exchanged. You've been rewired in the womb of suffering. And what was once familiar now feels foreign, because your spirit has moved ahead of your surroundings. So be still. Don't rush into the new prematurely. Let heaven finish what it started. There are still pieces falling into place. Divine appointments being arranged. Timelines being woven. You may not see it all yet, but you'll feel the wind before the door opens. And when it does, everything will confirm what your spirit already knew. You are not forgotten. You are not wandering. You are not broken. You are in transit, moving in alignment with things too sacred for the natural eye to see. Trust what you're sensing. Trust what's been revealed in stillness. The greatest exchanges happen in secret, and you have been at the center of one. Type I receive the divine trade in the comments. Blessing code 2121 has been activated on your behalf. There is a divine silence that has hung in the air around your name for too long. Heaven heard the lies whispered in shadows. Heaven witnessed the mockery hidden in coded language. And still, heaven said, wait. You watched the unjust walk in pride. You watched those who caused pain appear to prosper. And inside your spirit, you wrestled. You cried, God, do you see this? And the heavens answered, not with noise but with precision, yes. And justice is moving. Hear this now with prophetic clarity. What they whispered will return as public clarity. The God of justice is another God. He has only been arranging the pieces. He has not been absent. He has been calculating. The dishonor you experienced was seen. The betrayal that shattered your trust was recorded. And now, the scales are shifting. Now, the season of divine reversal has come. Every hidden slight, every secret accusation, every manipulated narrative is now under divine review. Not by man, not by church systems, not by social approval, but by the courts of heaven. You no longer need to argue, explain, or chase down truth, because truth is now pursuing you. Vindication is no longer delayed. It is in motion. They thought you would stay quiet forever. They thought your silence was submission. What they didn't realize is that your silence was sacred strategy. You weren't hiding in fear. You were abiding in wisdom. You were waiting on the Lord. And now, he rises, not just as comforter, but as judge. God repays in full. And when he restores, he does so in public. The table prepared before your enemies is not a metaphor. It is a reality in the realm of spirit. Those who mocked your mourning will watch your mantle. Those who distorted your name will witness your elevation. But this is not revenge. It is reversal. Not to destroy them, but to distinguish you. This is your Esther moment. The very gallows they built for you will become their own reckoning. The honor they withheld will be commanded by heaven to be returned, double. Because God never just balances. He multiplies. This is not about pride. This is about prophecy fulfilled. God doesn't let dishonor go unchecked when the heart has remained pure in the fire. The reversal begins with stillness. Don't try to speed it up. Don't insert your hand where only God's hand can move. Stand back. Watch the holy turning. The reversal is not coming through your efforts. It is coming because you passed the test of silence, of forgiveness, of spiritual endurance. Your reward is not just restoration. It is revelation. Revelation of how much heaven truly backed you. Justice in this hour is moving in realms no man can block. It is not subject to protocol. It does not require permission. Heaven's gavel has already struck, and the verdict is in your favor. You were the one who stood when others scattered. You were the one who forgave when others gossiped. You were the one who stayed on your face before God when retaliation would have felt easier. And now, heaven is honoring what the world dishonored. You will feel the reversal before you see it. A lightness in your chest. A peace that floods without explanation. Suddenly, the weight that clung to you for years will lift. And you will know, the judgment hath been rendered. Do not fear what comes next. It is not punishment. It is promise. You are not entering battle. You are entering balance. You are not chasing recompense. It is already chasing you. Your name will be cleared. Your voice will be heard. Your story will be told, on heaven's terms, not theirs. And when it happens, stay humble. Stay hidden. Let the reversal speak louder than your rebuttal ever could. God is not just restoring your reputation. He is rebuilding your reach. If this season has been heavy, let this word be your final confirmation. It was not for nothing. Your tears have spoken. Your restraint has been recognized. Your reward hath been released. If this message resonates with your spirit, and you've been holding on in silence, consider supporting with a super thanks or super chat. Contributions as small as $5 help us continue bringing prophetic clarity and truth in moments like these. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating through the support here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. And if you haven't yet, subscribe now for more spirit-led insight and timely revelation. Your alignment here is not accidental, it's prophetic. Type "Justice is mine" in the comments. Blessing code 2277 is now confirming divine reversal on your behalf. And now, beloved child of heaven, the message draws to a close, not in weakness but in ascension. This was not just a word. This was a divine encounter. A sacred moment slipped through the veil, designed for you alone. The sorrow you've carried is seen, is sealed, is sanctified. It has become holy before the throne. It has transformed into a language of glory. You were never abandoned in your mourning. You were never alone in your silence. The Spirit walked with you in every dark room, hovered over your bed during sleepless nights, and stood at the edge of your bed while you begged for strength. Even in your numbness, you were not unseen. Even in your anger, you were not unloved. Heaven kept you, not just alive but aware. The veil parted to bring this message to you, because heaven needed you to know your grief is not your identity. Your losses are not your limitation. You are not stuck in survival. You are on the edge of supernatural becoming. May peace now rest where pain once ruled. May your heart finally exhale. The unrest is lifting. The storm is receding. The oil that was formed in sorrow is now pouring as favor. May clarity return where confusion once reigned. May your discernment become sharp again. May your joy no longer be tied to outcomes, but to divine presence. You are not just rising, you are ascending. You are lifting out of old patterns. You are stepping into new dimensions. What once oppressed you no longer has access to you. What once strained you will now be beneath you. You are walking forward with wings of wisdom, with garments of righteousness, and with clarity that breaks cycles. You are no longer a mourner. You are a messenger. Your very presence is a testimony. You have become proof that pain bows before purpose, that grief can birth glory, that silence can still speak. You are the living evidence that God is still faithful, still just, still tender with the broken-hearted. So rest now. Breathe now. Take this word and carry it into your atmosphere. Speak it into your rooms. Pray it over your bloodline. Watch how things begin to move. Watch how heaven honors what you now understand. This is not an ending. It is a new commissioning. A new level. A fresh anointing sealed by suffering. And remember this, you were not selected for this message by accident. The Spirit chose this timing. The Spirit chose this platform. And above all, the Spirit chose you. You are sealed. You are seen. You are sent. Now rise. Type "I am sent" in the comments. Blessing code 3333 is now sealed over your life.